Hello everyone, welcome to Startup Zone Talk Live. I'm here with Patrick.
Hey, Homam, how are you doing?
Ralph will be joining us.
Yeah, nice.
Hello, Ralph. Can you hear me?
Hey man, hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clearly. Hi, Ralph, how are you doing?
Hi man, hey, it's good to finally meet you, man. Been trying to get you on my show as well.
I don't
Yeah.
know, for some reason I can't hear you guys. Oh my god, now we're going to
Okay.
have
Well, I can
some
hear Ralph.
difficulties.
He can hear me. We
Yeah.
can hear you also, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you too. So how you been, Patrick?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Not too bad, I would say.
Yeah, busy?
Yeah, always busy, right? Like yourself also. Keep myself busy with different things.
Yeah. We've been trying to, fix up a session for a while, so I'm glad we actually managed to do this. Yeah.
That's cool, yeah. Awesome.
So
yeah.
So where are you? You're in KL, right?
Yeah, just at the border of KL, in Tamanton.
Oh, nearby me. I'm in. Yeah.
Where are you? KL side also? Or?
No, I'm in PJ. I'm in PJ. Yeah,
PJ,
very near to Tamantoon as well. Yeah.
Okay, nice. But now cannot meet. There's another lockdown here in Malaysia, so.
Yeah, so it's a virtual.
Guys, I don't know if you
virtual
can hear me.
trade.
I'm going out and I'm going to sign back in.
All right, it's cool, man. We'll be waiting for you.
Can you hear me?
Inshallah.
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. That's funny. We just tested before, but I think that's what it is with the live sessions, right?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so while we wait for him.
That was fast. You can hear us now. He cannot.
He's the host of the session.
Yeah, correct. Yes. But we were just like talking like 10 minutes before we went live. So that was all
does it
good.
mean I should go out and come back in? Or?
I don't
I
think
can hear
it's
you
because
now.
of you. Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I can hear you.
All right, cool, man. Technical issues is normal.
Yeah. I don't know. The second you logged in, I cannot hear anything. I don't know what happened on my side. But it's cool now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all sorted out.
Yeah. Now it's sorted out. Yeah. Well, I'm new also to StreamYard, so this is the first time I try the live, especially with few people. So it's still learning curve for me. So
I've used
how
before. I've used it before. Like in two podcasts. I didn't have any problems, and we usually do 3 people. Yeah, like this. Yeah.
Okay, I find it very easy to use, and it has a lot of cool features.
Yeah, and you get the direct connection with Facebook. So anyway, how have you guys been? It's been a while since we caught up, huh, Hamam?
Yeah. I think it has been like maybe 3 months or more.
Yeah. We've been through two MCOs, I think, together.
2 MCOs. Yeah. Correct. Well, this is the thing. Actually, we want to talk about the MCOs. We want to talk about vaccination. I recently got my vaccine. So I would like to ask you, ask you and ask Patrick, see what you guys think about this. Maybe I'll start with you, Ralph. So what do you think? Are you a pro MCO, like the first MCO and the second MCO? What do you think?
Actually, I've got my vaccination appointment date as well coming up. Yeah, so but I mean, I think we are all done with this MCO stuff. We've all had enough. So I'm really hoping to get back to normal. But anyway, like on the plus side, I think a lot of things, a lot of opportunities have opened up in terms of online and digital and virtual stuff and remote work. And this is stuff that I've been doing for a long time. Like I was doing remote before remote was even a thing. Like people ask me like, well, where's your office? I'm like, we don't have an office. You're like, what kind of a company doesn't have an office, right? Like yeah, and so I believe I was one of the first to be doing that, at least here in Malaysia. So I'm kind of glad to see that it's become more of a mainstream thing, more acceptable. But I mean, there are a lot of things to iron out. I feel like particularly with things like the small traders being taken over by big e-commerce platforms, like and when it comes to e-commerce, like it's not the same as having a store like on Jalan Masjid India or Jalan Sultan Ismail. Having your store there and having the foot traffic and stuff. I understand that. So these are some of the things that I think, and some people might get left behind, and that might be part of the whole thing with the shift. That shifts happen throughout history. And we have to adapt. Yeah.
Well, how about you, Patrick? What do you think? I will talk at the end.
Yeah, I mean, the problem or what we're getting tired of is really this half MCOs or this half lockdowns, right? I think this is not helpful. I mean, many countries tried many different things in the end, and you can always complain or discuss or debate what was good, what is bad. I think in the end, either you open or you close, but everything in between is not really helpful. I mean, make a full lockdown for 2 weeks. And then that's it. You can start with the numbers from zero or very low again. But I mean, this kind of weird rules, you cannot go to a restaurant after 8, or you cannot order food after 8. What does this really help, right? It's something, and this is in the end just annoying, right? It's not helpful, and it's just annoying. So I'm more the guy like
a pro, like either go full lockdown or don't do it at all.
Yes. Yeah, correct. Do it full or do nothing. And I think now we postponed or Malaysia postponed the lockdown as long as it was possible, but go with this half, a little bit here, a little bit there. And in the end, now we have to do it anyway. So better full lockdown and then see what we can do with that. Probably, I mean, that's my opinion, probably the better way. Yeah.
I see. Well, for me, I maybe have unpopular opinion about that, because I disagree with you a little bit, Patrick, because I think the government has to do a half-ass lockdown because the economy cannot take a full lockdown. Like when they did the first lockdown, in my opinion, it was totally unnecessary and it was a big mistake. Like they did a very strict lockdown despite the economical consequences, and when the cases like 100, 200, 300. So now we are at 7,000 and we are fine, and we didn't have to do a strict lockdown like that one.
Yeah.
At the same time, there is no evidence, there is no scientific evidence that lockdowns can reduce the cases or flatten the curve. To me, there are people think that can happen. They think by doing a lockdown, you will bring cases to zero or flatten the curve or whatever. But that's impossible. And even if you success, let's say it will work, but at what cost? Now the aviation industry is gone. The tourism industry is gone. The events industry is gone. There are not only those small traders. We are talking about 30 to 40% of the economy right now, with or without lockdown, they're not operating. So when they add a lockdown to that, like how much stress is putting to the economy? I know it's very difficult. It's very difficult call for now for any environment, because if they in any government, if they do a lockdown, there would be people not happy about that, and if they don't do a lockdown, there will be also
Yeah.
people not happy
And
about it.
I mean, again, it's so difficult. Every country was different. I would disagree that the lockdown will not help with the numbers. I think it helps with the numbers, but what I also agree with you is then what is the cost for it? I mean, what is the financial cost for the economy, right? But then the other question
There are
I'm asking
people
is like,
talking about 2 billion, 2.5 billion. I'm not sure
whatever
ringgit or dollar
the
per day,
question I would
per
yeah
day.
the
Is it
question I
worth
would
it?
yeah, of course. I mean, the question I would have is the cost lower if we have these half lockdowns, because this half lockdown we have like since months, right? So is that really better than like a full lockdown, and the government is supporting the companies during this full lockdown regardless
The
what the
government
cost
cannot
is, right?
support the companies. This is the sad thing. Like if the government do a full lockdown and they pay the companies whatever they were making without the
Yeah,
lockdown, that would be great. But the government is not going to pay even 10% of that, even 1% of that. Like the government, I'm not talking about Malaysian government, but I'm just going to talk about one incident. Like sometimes the government go and give uh, government servants 500 ringgit or dollar or whatever.
yeah, no, but
Well,
this
that money
this is
should
not
be
a help.
given.
This is
Yeah,
crap.
it's not
I mean,
helping.
I mean, I'm
It
I'm
should be
talking about
given to
real
like
help,
events
right?
organizers. It
Yeah,
should. Why
correct.
is you're giving them? But because that give them votes. You see, the politicians think that way. They give it to
Oh,
those people
okay.
because it will give them votes. But if they give it to the pilots or the air stewardess, how many votes they will get from
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Not much.
I mean, again, here, different countries, different approaches, right? I mean, again, maybe I'm Swiss, right? So I follow how Switzerland was handling that. I mean, I never heard of like the government is giving a private person just 500 whatever currency just to compensate for anything. That makes no sense, right? I mean,
But
what the
in the
government
US,
did
they
is,
were paying, I think, people around $2,000. But what
yeah,
does
yeah,
two
it,
thousand
it
dollars
it
do?
makes no sense, right? I mean, what I'm talking is about supporting the company so they can keep the people, the employees employed, right? That was the target, because then you don't need to support like the end user or the people, right? You support the companies, they continue like hiring the employees, and then that's it, right? But of
I
course,
agree
with
with you.
that, you cannot buy votes.
Yeah, but cannot get
Because
votes. But we don't want to
yeah,
talk politics and have this
yeah,
shutdown, or this will be our last episode.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, well, so vaccine. Rauf, you said you got your appointment, right?
Yep.
How about you, Patrick? Did you get appointment or?
Yeah, I got the first jab. Yeah, I think two
Me
weeks
too.
ago, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yeah.
For me, it
So
was
So,
on Friday.
so everybody here, AstraZeneca or Pfizer?
I'm AstraZeneca.
Yeah,
AstraZeneca. Yeah, yeah.
because that's
So
that's basically what's been available so far. I mean, I had I met like a physiotherapist or somebody back quite a while ago. He got a Pfizer jab, but he's like considered a frontliner, I think, in
mhm,
medical industry. So they got their jabs early, and then there's this issue of the jabs, coming in their batches and and stuff like that. And I do not like to talk politics. That's why I just keep quiet when you all talk about politics, because I tend to stay away from these kind of topics.
Yeah,
Uh,
we all. I'm
yeah,
also trying to stay away from it, but I'm just talking
well,
in general.
yeah,
Whether it's Malaysia or another country,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
all the
I
same.
mean,
I think.
this whole vaccine situation is a worldwide thing, and there are only a certain number of suppliers. But I think recently the Malaysian government approved AstraZeneca jabs manufactured in Thailand, I think, and
Okay.
yeah, and also I heard some time ago that Pfizer was planning to open an mRNA production facility in Singapore. So I think they starting to realize that it's not about vaccinating just their populations. Like they gotta try to distribute it equally, and so bring some of that production to Southeast Asia and help some of the it's got to be an equal thing. So it's a very interesting exercise for a world that has been so far, I believe, largely quite selfish in many ways,
Mm,
right?
mm.
Like having to learn to actually bring up your fellow man together, right? So that you can be safe as well. So that's the whole, like, it's an interesting thing that's happening. Like,
So to your
yeah,
point, Rauf, actually on Vulcan Post, I read an article. So the title was how a slow COVID-19 vaccination campaign in Malaysia will hurt Singapore. So if Malaysia like slow in vaccine, that will hurt the neighbor country, and it's the other way. If let's say Thailand is slow, it will hurt Malaysia, and
yeah,
you
it
know,
might.
yeah,
It might, yeah. I mean, and that's something like, uh, I mean, the concept of countries and nation states, in many ways, is a very new thing. Like nation states, I think it's very largely a post-colonial concept, right? After colonialism, when the colonial powers actually, like, what is Malaysia? Malaysia was formed because, because the and like before this, a long time ago, all the way back, there was, like, if you go a long way back, there was like the Srivijaya Empire, and we were, like, connected with many of our neighbors. So then now it's just Malaysia, and then you have like Sabah, Sarawak, and then you have Brunei, and then you have Singapore and stuff like that. So this is what we call nation states, right? And this is
mm,
relatively new invention, right? So the concept of nation states, and then protecting their borders and stuff like that, and then you this person is a refugee, this person is a citizen, this person is an expat, so all of these concepts are becoming challenged, right? In many ways, I think, because it's a and it's, like recently we've had the issue of rounding up illegal immigrants and stuff like that, because they might present like a COVID spread risk or something like that, right? And then but do you take them and put them in detention centers, little detention centers, so that the thing can spread even further? So like how do you deal with uh,
yeah.
relating to your fellow man? This is what's happening, you say, in my opinion.
Okay. Do you have anything to comment, Patrick?
No, I agree. It is a difficult one, yeah, very difficult one to handle. Again, same here, right? Every many countries facing the same challenges. It's interesting to see how countries are dealing differently with it, and yeah.
Maybe I will share about my vaccination. Because I just got it last Friday. So actually, I heard a few days ago that my center is PWTC. So I heard there were long queues and things were chaotic there. So actually, I went on Friday 12:30. So I arrived 12:25. So I came on time. I didn't want to come too early, like how some people came and cause this kind of. But I was surprised. There was not many people. Everything was smooth. I think from the time I enter to the time I exit the BWTC, it was 1:12 or 1:11 minutes. So it's less than 45 minutes. The whole process was done, including the 15 minutes rest, which you have to do. So the it was really organized. I was surprised. So I really need to applaud them for. I think they done really a great job. And actually, the doctor before he gave me the vaccine, he showed me the what they call that
Yeah,
the syringe.
the
Yeah.
vial. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
new ruling because some people
Yeah.
apparently got underdosed, right? So
So he showed
yeah,
me it's five ml, and
Oh,
then
wow.
he gave me the injection. Then he showed me it's empty. He said, "You okay? You satisfied?" And then I said, "Yeah." And then I went home, and me and my wife, we actually got the appointment at the same time, at the same day, at the same center. So we left home. She got start to have fever. For me, I'm like nothing until
nothing.
night. Yeah, nothing. Even no pain here, and it's all fine.
Right.
But at
I think
night
you're a
time,
strong man, right?
I don't know. Maybe my immune system doesn't bother about the virus. There is a virus, no virus. It's cool. But her immune system react to it immediately, like it's fighting it and trying to do antibodies. But at nighttime, I got a little bit of fever, like I was 37.5, while my wife is almost 39. Her fever. But after 1 hour, that 37.5 is gone. And then I think next day I have a little bit of pain on my arm, and then I'm back to normal. For her, she had fever for 2 days, plus muscle pain, joint pain, and then after today she's fine.
Yeah. So like Patrick, how back in Switzerland, how are things over there? Do you know much about that?
I think they have mainly the Pfizer and Moderna as vaccines. I just checked the numbers earlier today. I think they are around 20% through it. I mean, okay, there's the two numbers, right? So, what is the first jab? What is the second jab? I found a good web page, Our World in Data.org, where you can compare, and I think the numbers should be quite trustworthy there. So,
Maybe you can
yeah,
share. Maybe you can share the link. Maybe you can share
yeah,
that link.
I can
Yeah.
share the link. Let me just see where to share it, huh? Yeah, anyway, I think 22% have both have are fully vaccinated, and another 15% have are partly vaccinated, so total 37%. Malaysia, I just checked, 3.6% fully vaccinated, and another 3.1%.
Still pretty low, I think, but
Yeah, quite
apparently
low. Yeah,
compared to in Southeast Asia, I mean, don't compare with Europe, but I think in Southeast Asia it's still we're kind of high apparently. But I see quite a lot of people have registered, but yeah, the rollout. I mean, they've been talking about like mobile vaccination centers, and then there was even the malls were people from the malls were even saying that let us jab people in the malls and all that.
Yeah.
So it's like
And they're going to allow private hospitals, and I think those new changes they're doing in the last few days, they are amazing, because before that the speed was really ridiculous. It was so slow. I calculated we need like 5 years to vaccinate people, which is like, are you? That's my point. Like, are you going to keep MCOs for 5 years? That's impossible.
I don't know.
So now
I do not trust myself being locked indoors for even one more year. I don't know what might happen to me. Already, I feel
I'm going crazy. I'm going
Ew.
mental. I'm telling you.
but I
Like,
think it was a slow start. But I think, to be fair, I think it
Now they're
was
fast.
everywhere in every country was a slow start, right? You need to figure out how to do things, and I think already now the numbers are increasing every day. So I'm quite positive, and I also want to second what just Homam said before. I was quite impressed by the organization. I was in University Malaya. I was there. I think it took me 50 minutes in and out total process, including the 50 minutes waiting. And there were like really a lot of people. I mean, it was really full,
Yeah.
but everything was so well organized. Really, I was really impressed, and had a good feeling about this, that the country can go forward far faster now in the future. Absolutely.
Yeah, just to show you, like here is the total vaccination. So you can see per state, if you go to the website vaccinecovid.gov.my,
yep.
so you can see per state what is the vaccination percent. So like Johor 7%, Kedah 9%, Kelantan 9%, Kuala Lumpur 26%, which is good. I think the one also very important is Selangor, but I see Selangor is 6%, because we can see now the highest cases are in Selangor, plus Selangor is crowded, plus Selangor is the economic hub. I think they need to concentrate on Selangor more.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, but now the speed, I think good. They're doing a really good job, and like making things flexible. But actually what worry me now is the total registered people. If you see that, like almost only half of people are registered. I
Yeah,
don't know
that's for
this.
to reach that's apparently to reach herd immunity, but where we are at, like you see the green bar, I think that comes up to about 50%, and
Yeah,
over there is about 80%. So they want to get to 80% for herd immunity, but like apparently in the UK they reached herd immunity at about 50%. So if we can get to 50%, I think we might be we might be okay. But still, yeah, like it. I think we can reach the national target is actually before the end of the year. So now we're coming up to last quarter of the year. So yeah, that's the target, and let's wait and see.
My understanding, this is the registered people, the people who registered for the vaccine, right?
Yes,
Not
the
the people
green bar.
who took the vaccine.
The
Yeah,
ones who
not the
took it is
people.
blue. Blue color is took, and green
Yeah,
color is registered. Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
means this half, this gray, these people didn't even register for the vaccine.
No, but from what I understand, what the government might be planning to do is actually to go out to the countryside. I mean, to the rural areas, and actually bring the vaccine to them, because maybe they didn't have mobile internet, they didn't know how to register online and all these kind of things. So yeah, that's
Well,
one
I
of.
don't. I don't think that's the case. I think those the anti-vaxxer and or I don't know lazy people or whatever. So I think I will take the opportunity to tell people if you didn't register, please go and register and take your vaccine. Do not
Yeah.
listen to these fake conspiracies, theories, and I
Yeah,
don't know. I
like
heard ridiculous thing like there is a chip, and I don't know the Jewish people created this, and all kind of ridiculous nonsense bullshit.
so like
I,
like uh like I
I don't
was
know what to say.
reading about, like, if why put a chip in your body to track you? They can track you using your phone already. So
Yeah, they already track you.
right? So why do they have to put a chip in your body? Think about it, right? So it's far easier to track you using your phone, mate. You have your phone with you.
Exactly. And what if it doesn't? After like a while, it's like doesn't work or broken or something went wrong. So
Yeah, but
it doesn't make
and
any sense, you know.
yeah, this is, I mean, and what I was actually wondering some time ago is, like, was it this hard when they tried to roll out the first vaccine ever? Like, what was there? Oh, conspiracy theory back then. I think it was smallpox, like
Yeah.
when they actually came up with vaccination. I don't know if it was Edward Jenner or one of these people that actually came up with the first ever vaccination, and they actually did they used to actually take the pus from the pustules of the actual infected people and inject other people with the thing, right? So that they would get it, and then they would build immunity and all that, right? And if you think about it, it was more gross back then, right? And
Of course.
they didn't have the
Well,
science and the
I know a story. I think you can go and verify online, search for it. Like the first vaccine, actually, I think there was a British family that was living in Istanbul, in Turkey.
Mm.
And they noticed that the families there send their children uh, to a farmer who has cows, which has a similar disease to the chicken pox, and
Yeah, yeah,
then the
smallpox.
guy will, or the woman will make a small injection in the skin, and it will
Mhm.
take the that thing. I don't know the
Yeah,
name.
because it was something like, I think the story goes that the guy realized that like his cows that got chicken pox didn't get smallpox or something like that. So
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he went and infected them with chicken pox. Like, I had chicken pox. I think you, like, so many people, and we take it for granted. People don't naturally get chicken pox, right? Like, this is something that is given to us because of vaccination, right? To protect us from smallpox and stuff like that.
Actually,
So
like even in like there is so many conspiracy theory. Like they're talking about something, and it will first sound to you like factual, like it's true. Like one of the highest countries in who got vaccinated is, I think, Seychelles. Like Seychelles, it has maybe 80% of their population vaccinated, but they still have COVID. But
yeah,
what people don't realize that, yeah, the vaccine will not make you don't have COVID. You will have COVID, but what will happen to you is far less worse if you do not have the vaccine. Like now,
yeah. I mean,
some
like
people
you
are
have,
afraid
yeah.
of AstraZeneca, vaccine. But actually, even if you are a woman under 60 years old and you have all the risks of taking AstraZeneca, if you get COVID or if you take the vaccine, if you get COVID and you don't have any vaccine, what will happen to you is far more worse than if you take the AstraZeneca and you get all the side effects, the worst side effects. So to me, you still it's still worth taking the vaccine, no matter what is your risk.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I agree, but like you see, there's two parts, like pandemic and endemic, right? Like like now we're in a pandemic, and then like I think the plan is that hopefully this thing starts to become endemic, like the common flu or the seasonal cold. You know, it comes like a couple of times a year, and a lot of people get it, or like dengue fever, maybe, right? And maybe some people might die, right? But
Yeah.
overall, it is not at the level that it is now because of vaccination. You get what I mean? So because many people have been vaccinated, it just becomes like every once in a while people get it, right? And they don't get very sick. Some people might get very sick, and some people might die. But you know that happens with dengue as well and stuff like that. So, so it becomes, yeah. So that's how it might play out. But what I've seen is did Patrick leave us or what?
I think Patrick, yeah, he disconnected,
He,
or
he dropped out.
maybe.
Yeah, but I
It's
mean
okay.
the like you were saying. I mean, the way that I've seen this thing spreads really fast, and like if you look at the UK, apparently, they reached no deaths. Like in one day, no deaths because of vaccination. I think recently, like 1 or 2 days ago, but the cases are still going up. Number of cases still going up, if I'm not mistaken. So people are getting it, but they're not dying. You see, and that
Yeah,
is the point. That is actually the point of the vaccination, right? So people don't get
they
seriously
don't
ill
die.
and
They
don't
don't
die.
like. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So guys, we have Sadra with us. He's going to join us right now. So because he
Yeah.
has to leave around 9:50, so I will
No
change a
worries.
bit of the
I think
schedule. We'll talk
I think
about
maybe
crypto.
I should leave, but I just want to say hi to
You can stay. You can
Yeah.
stay.
Hey
It's
everyone.
up to you.
Sadra.
Hi, Sadra.
Hey, how's
Dude.
it
Yes,
going, everyone?
Sarah.
Hey, I think
Hi.
we have met before.
Yeah, dude, we worked together before, man. How you doing?
I know, it was just ringing some bells. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Hey,
Yeah, it's
Mom.
good.
Hey, Patrick. How's it going,
Hey,
everyone?
how are you
I've been
doing?
hearing you guys. It's been such a conversation over the vaccination and everything else. So I think we're all in
Yeah.
the
Now,
same boat.
we
So
will jump to the crypto. So, okay, first time I think I see you or I meet you. So it will be virtual for first time. So thank you very much for coming here. Have
it's
you
a
met
pleasure.
Patrick before?
Well, we have spoken on the phone, like I suppose over a year ago.
Yeah, some time ago. Must be
Yeah, we were planning to
before
meet,
the
but
MCO
it's
even.
been,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's for sure
exactly.
at
It's been
least
two and
1
a
year
half,
ago.
3 years.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, exactly. All
Yeah, I
right.
hope like one day after this all craziness of COVID, we can like go back to normal and meet, maybe have a dinner or meet in a cafe or something.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
That's it.
I know you have limited time. You have to leave. I think you told me by 9:50. So I
Yep.
think we can jump to the topic. So
Sure.
we all know like what happened in the last few days or few weeks. Like the cryptocurrencies went up all the way to crazy kind of numbers, and then it all come down. And from my observation, I'm new to cryptocurrency. I won't call myself at all an expert, but I recently start to invest a little bit, experiment with few things here and there. But my perspective on crypto, that it is kind of a problem looking for a solution. A solution looking for a problem to solve, and it might not necessarily be
You mean
ready
blockchain,
now.
not crypto. You mean blockchain, right? It's a
As
solution
a
waiting for a
technology.
problem. Yeah, the blockchain technology. Yeah.
I mean both. I mean both. Like if we look at Bitcoin, if we look at Ethereum, if we look at all, like we already have those solutions. Like for example, I can transfer money with PayPal, and it's faster and maybe more secure than I do it with Bitcoin. Like sometimes why do we need Bitcoin? But that's let's put that topic aside for maybe later or another time. But now, like what's going on with with this cryptocurrency? Like are we in bubble? Is it because of what Elon Musk said? Is it because of the China new regulation? Because I heard they banning institutes from using crypto. So what
Right.
can you tell us?
Sure. Just doing a quick callback on your, because I remember we had a same conversation in 2018 where we were talking about. I'm a blockchain developer in a way. I used to be, at least I can say. So since 2016, I've been investing, trading, setting up mining hubs and everything else. I've been playing around with different aspects of it. So since I'm a programmer, I have played with it. I've made coins, tokens, I better say. I've been involved in different part of it. We have had the same talk with programmers and people who were into crypto before. Is blockchain really is a solution to everything? It is not. It is absolutely not. Its use cases can be used in certain projects and in certain use cases. That's it. It's simple as that. The fact that we were flooded with ICOs and all those, every single person starting any project in the world in 2017 was like, it's a blockchain, it's an ICO. Just easy to raise a fund, and then out of a sudden, no offense, in whatever country you're in, they could just vanish, but just like that, because they're not regulated. There's no even company behind it. They have just some pictures together, put some pictures together, and that's it. Just vanish. So I don't personally believe that blockchain is for every solution. It is absolutely not. It does solve a lot of problems in certain manners. And I personally believe, on your statement, Humam, I believe it is more secure than doing a PayPal transaction. And there are a lot of talks over it in Europe, especially saying that our information is being disclosed, even on PayPal, even on Google. As a matter of fact, today, just yesterday, I had a conversation with one of my partners in Hamburg, and they were totally saying any American company in Germany is having a problem today because they're not regulated. We believe Americans are selling data. So we have to use a substitute to whatever we say. I was talking about PayPal. They literally, just yesterday night, they said no to PayPal because we have to use something that is not American, because Americans are known for data.
What crypto and blockchain solving is privacy? Is that what you're saying?
I would say that's one of the use cases. It is one of the use cases. But coming back, since we have short time, I want to get the questions answered. Coming back to what's really going on in today's cryptocurrency world, we can see that I personally believe that the huge difference between 3 years ago and today is that the amount of people who have involved themselves into crypto are not crypto literate. They're not. They don't know what it is. So what has happened today is that 2018, 2017, 2016, the people who invested into crypto, they knew what it is. Either they were programmers, either they were technologists, they were somehow related to understand what it is. Because I remember in Malaysia, 2017, you talk about me holding Bitcoin, they were like, someday I could open up my Binance and everything could vanish. But today, you don't believe that. You kind of have earned that trust that Binance is not going to vanish to them tomorrow morning. At least that is understanding today. So what I've personally witnessed during the past 1 year, since Bitcoin started to rising up gradually out of that crash that it had to $4,900 about a year plus ago, every single person who understood, okay, there's a trend, okay, there's Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, saying, I'm backing it up, screw the other governments or whatever else. So the typical
but then he said he's not backing it up. Like he said, it's bad for environment.
I'll get to that.
It's not a new information. It's bad for environment. It has been always.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. It's impossible to say Elon Musk, after a year of promoting cryptocurrencies, boom, he woke up in the morning, he wrote an article, oh, it's not really environment friendly. That's definitely not the case. So there is some stories behind it. There are some plans behind it, I'm very sure. And the people who are fooled are the ordinary people who started investing, and because of that huge scale up it had. So my point over this is this: the main difference between 3-4 years ago and up to now is that there are a crazy number of people who have involved themselves into crypto investments. I had $5,000 or 5,000 ringgit in my pocket. I didn't know what to do with it. I have invested it, and this is what I can see around me as well. Everyone has put in, and they have no idea what's really going on. They feel like it's in a stock, it's like Amazon stock, and at some point it's going to go up. And many of them are huddling, and many of them are panicking by just $1,000 going down price of a Bitcoin. They're like, I got to sell, and they sell. Look at what happened. This is what I think it happened. So it went up by Elon Musk leading it. Snoop Dogg was there, Logan Paul was there, all the people, all the celebrities. It has become less of a tactical and technical market where we used to be following the trading views, following the crash market and say there's a dump, it has to have a correction, it has to have all that. But look at what happened with Doge, from 1 cent, 2 cent to 30 cent, and as of today, despite all these crashes, it didn't come down less than 28 cents. So what it tells us is that it's less of a technical analysis that we have to do to understand the market today. It's more of a celebrity-driven, emotion-driven. These are what we're dealing with right now, and it's very unhealthy.
Do you think there is a pump and dump there?
I mean, sorry, I interrupt here, but I have to say, like, what you just said and how you explain it, for me, this is not like some real investments that is to be done with Bitcoins. That's just a gambling, right? It's just a game. I mean, you're telling me because celebrities are investing in it, it's a good investment. That's crap, right? I mean, I would really like to distinguish between like blockchain and cryptocurrency, and then within the cryptocurrency, you also have to distinguish between like these currencies that have no tangible assets behind it. I mean, there's nothing behind it. I mean, it's just like
I mean, like
if
you look at like fiat currency, right? The way we've been doing currency for so long, it's tied to the what's happening with the country, right? So you have Malaysian currency. So like just like what Patrick said and what Sadra said about it being more of a celebrity driven. I don't really know what's going on, and is it being held together by something real? And maybe Sadra can explain more about that.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, what I just want. Sorry, just one last sentence, and then you can just like what you said is absolutely correct, because what I would say here is also like, okay, if this is a currency we should take serious, right? Then how is it possible that one single guy with one single tweet is able to split the value of this currency in half? This is impossible.
Smash it.
Never happened with any other currency, like real currency of a country, right? Yeah.
Well, your statement is something that needs to be, I think, reread every single morning for anyone who's in this market. You need to remember your sentence, Patrick, because I'm remembering it, and a lot of people are hating it. If you go on Instagram, you will see the fact of like SHUT Elon Musk for a while. Just shut up. We don't want you to talk because you're manipulating the market, and there are a lot of benefits behind you for you to do it. And I was just writing something on my LinkedIn like a couple of weeks ago saying that the amount of money Elon Musk could have made out of the investment he made, possibly with 1 cent of Dogecoin. And let me tell you the beauty behind this. It's not a beauty, it's a fake beauty, but this is how Dogecoin has succeeded. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not saying it should have or it's not. I'm just telling you what has happened. It's because in ordinary people's mind, when Bitcoin has surpassed $1 trillion of investment into it as market capital, I can say 2/3 of that are people who are not understanding what is blockchain, what is crypto, what is cryptography at all. They don't understand anything of it. They just see it as a stock. That's it. That's all they understand, right? And those people understand it this way. I've personally seen my friends saying the same thing, saying, you know what, Bitcoin is expensive. I'm not going to buy Bitcoin. I'm like, okay, so what are you going to buy? Doge. I'm like, why? Because Doge is 1 cent. I'm like, so what? It doesn't have anything to do with the price of it. But they're mentally told that when something is 1 cent, it has higher potential of getting to a bigger number. You know what I'm saying? And Doge and Elon Musk has very beautifully captured that needs or understanding that typical people have today, and if he had just think about it, if he had $500 million or $1 billion investment of his own money into this, today he has 30 billion. He can run another 10 missiles or whatever else he does to space station for another 10 years. He got the investment from
actually what I believe, I believe Elon Musk is like backstabbing Bitcoin, because he's either going to make his own currency or he's going to adapt Doge. Means Doge will be Elon Musk property somehow.
I think so. And if you look at how he has done it, is that at the beginning he started promoting the entire crypto, so it covers everyone. So it makes the entire market go. Because without Bitcoin going up at some scale, whatever you say, Doge would not be able to go as crazy as it went, right? So he had to. That's my opinion. He had to protect the entire crypto ship and say, all right, this ship is doing good. And then we see it being followed by Snoop Dogg, by Logan Paul, by many other people who were always 20 million followers on Instagram. And they just said, Bitcoin, Doge to moon. They just keep following him because they know he's doing this. This is following.
this is something we've seen Elon Musk do before. Like if you remember when he released all the electric car patents back in the day, right? And it was like, no, I don't care about the patents, right? You can have them. And then these electric car companies from China and stuff started coming up, right, and competing with him, right? And then he went backwards and did the batteries, the Gigafactory, because you got to buy the batteries from me. Right? So basically building up the scene, right? So he can make the, supply. So I think Sadra has a very good point there. And you as well, Humam. Yeah.
Right.
I think
right.
it's a way for him to raise funds. So instead of he also want to prove a point, because there are many people short selling his Tesla company. They think Tesla is overpriced. So he also, I think, kind of demonstrating his power, either with the GameStop stock, what he did for those people. He teach those.
Yeah, I think it's to build up the whole scene, like you were like you all were saying, right? Like build up the whole electric car scene, the EV scene, right? This one build up the whole crypto scene, like Sadra said, as a whole, right? And then so to create to spur the adoption overall. You get what I mean?
Yeah, so that adoption has already taken place. Yes, we have had a crazy correction, and if you look at it, it's not really a massive correction. It took Bitcoin from $7,000 to 64, and then now to almost 40, playing within 36 to 40. The correction is not, if you ask me as a person who has been doing this and I've been investing, I've been learning, it's not a good correction. To me, a correction should be 25. So it's still there. It's still good. It's still good.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. It's still good.
The problem is those who use it as investment, not as a long-term investment, as a day-to-day investment. Buying, selling. Those people who buy high and then
it's such a bad gamble.
No, because like with crypto, you don't get the dividends. Like I think it was Warren Buffett. He doesn't day trade, if I'm not mistaken. He goes for the dividends. So he holds long term, and he takes the dividends.
Cool.
Yeah. So
like for Ethereum,
you can't do that with crypto. Yeah.
Correct. Like for Ethereum, if you compare Ethereum 1 month ago and today, it's the same price. Like if you bought 1 month ago or a bit earlier, actually you didn't lose any money. But if you bought 2 weeks ago, you lost a lot of money.
Very volatile. Very volatile.
The volatility is insane. So, but coming back to your point, Humam, I think I agree with you, and I think that's what's happening. So the entire crypto market was pumped, and there's a certain reputation being built by him and many other people leading it, saying crypto is trustable. Yes, it has crashed, but at some point, I strongly believe that either he's going to come up with his own coin, or he's going to. I think he would have a crazy amount of stock in Dodge, and he's going to lead it, and he's going to say Dodge is the one, and he's going to. If the moment he announces the fact that Tesla is going to accept Dodge, boom, it's to 50 cents. And
I mean, sorry. But I was just about to say about, because the whole concept of decentralization is so new, right? In terms of when it comes to currency, like how do we do currency now in terms of countries, right? We have a central bank, right? And then they do things like quantitative easing, flooding currency into the market, into the economy and stuff like that, all this kind of. But now we have Satoshi Nakamoto, and we have some people we have the miners, right? So how do you think the in terms of supply and demand, what
Well, let me give you
just to add to your question. So maybe you ask us, since we're talking about the miners and the decentralization, Elon Musk said something very important. He said for Bitcoin, what kind of decentralization you have if, like, I think the majority of the miners are controlled by 3 companies. Like in Bitcoin, you need 51% control to control the thing. The thing is already controlled by 70% by 3 miners from China. So that he's showing also how it's not really decentralized.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Animal Farm, It's the story. Yeah, Animal Farm. I said, yeah. Anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, I very much agree as well, and I think he's not as the way he's promoting Dodge and all that. The concept of decentralization is not really the reason they're picking it. They're picking it for just being a crowdfund more a way where people are going to earn, and they're not going to reply. They're not going to be responsible for any loss. They promoted it. You put money into it, and at some point they're going to sell or take it to a crazy level of $2 at some point gradually. And Bitcoin is going to somehow follow up, if you ask me as well. I see Bitcoin at like 50 or something, maybe in 2-3 months, if no other news come up. And I saw news yesterday from China having its own first cryptocurrency of its own, and it's going to have equivalency to 0.8 to 18 cent of euro. I'm not sure if that's going to really happen, because we have been hearing those kind of news for the past couple of years. But China's saying that, and I think it's going to have an impact. But in general, I don't think decentralization is the main reason Elon Musk or his company is picking that up. It's just a trend, and it's a way of raising fund and out of ordinary people. It's exactly like governments imposing taxes somehow to me. It's like people are going to have to pay. And
US said if you have $10,000 transaction or something like that, you have to pay tax on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I know for the US and Canada is insane the way you have to pay taxes. But I'll give you one good example. Maybe Rolf, you were saying the same things, that how it is compared to the actual fiat currency today. I remember that a year and a half ago there was $1.5 billion USD, means USDT we call, or the Tether amount of cryptocurrency of Bitcoin transferred from one account to another. The amount of money that was spent on the gas, or the transaction fee, the typical term is, it was about like $190. So if you had done this through the bank, firstly, it would not take place within 2.5 minutes that it took. Secondly, you would have paid, I would say, I don't know, 200 grand or more, or maybe $500,000 on the transaction fees. So, and thirdly, you have to submit 1 billion documents to prove who the hell you are doing this. So I'm not saying which side is true. I'm just showing the differences, right? Okay. So for many reasons, it makes sense to do it. And a lot of people, including myself, we're using cryptocurrency for exchanging money really fast.
Oh, no, I tell you,
boom, 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 left, go right.
Yeah. So those are the advantages of it. Like, and me personally, I am looking forward to the end of banks as we know it. The bureaucracy is, I've had enough of it. Trying to get your card changed.
And just to let you know, the banks is just going to get worse with bureaucracy, with KYC, with all their crap document. You know, they're banning people like crazy. They're closing accounts like crazy now.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm from Syria. Like, you are radioactive if you are from Syria for banks. No banks or e-wallet or any kind of
Iranians like Sadra. Iranians like Sadra as well. From what I remember, Iranians were getting their accounts closed down. Yeah. So these are some of the issues with regular banks, and what I see with the advantages with crypto that you've been talking about. You know, lower fees, faster transactions, right, and also this lack of bureaucracy. You know, these are some.
Well, to some level, I would say to some level, because if you want to do the mainstream way, like if you want to open maybe account at Coinbase, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, Sadra. You know, if you are a Syrian, you will not be able. You have to do like, I think, wallet.
You're very right, and those are very typical topics, because Syrians, certain countries, and the leading Syrians, Iraqis, Afghanis, Yemenis are leading that, unfortunately, and they're being banned because the government, because they believe, Coinbase and these kind of companies believe, that they cannot trace where you got the money from. You know what I'm saying? So if Patrick wants to invest, they say, okay, Patrick, where'd you get the money from? Again, guys, like it or not, Switzerland. All right, that's good. That's already number one. All right, in the banking, and then you have some proof. Yeah. All right, you're from Swiss. We already believe you. Done. But if someone from Syria wants to invest, and maybe Iranians want to invest, they'll be like, okay, where did you possibly get the money? Okay, they cannot differentiate. This is why we have the concept of KYCs and AMLs coming to the picture a couple of years ago, saying that I want to check your name and your party over the AML, and anti-money laundering, and see if you have been in any way related to any money laundering. But in many cases, they have given up that, because Homam, whatever your surname is, no offense, they will be like, I cannot trace who this is. It could be he could have gotten the money from his cousin who is a whatever. They cannot trace. So
it's not only that.
Highly interesting.
It is they are stupid, you know.
Let me give you an example. The Bitcoin itself is also the main purpose, or a good reason for this, the money laundering, right? So I hope like today you can convince me like why I should buy Bitcoins. But the summary is, it's a gamble. It's depending on one guy tweeting if it goes up or down.
this point.
It is mostly money laundering. Shall I invest in this or not? I mean, the answer from me is clear. Thanks for that. But
Yeah.
as always, everyone can make his own opinion for that. Well, what is the good side? And this one, I fully agree. I also have to say that I for a long time, I hoped it will really disrupt the banking system, right? Because the cost is too high. I agree. Even if I want to make a legal transaction, I transfer money from Switzerland here. I will pay $30, 30 USD for a single transaction. And I don't know why so much money should go to the banks if everything is done online, digital, right? So I really hoped, and I still hope there will be cryptocurrencies that can facilitate, like, let's say, at least the legal transactions that we want to do.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, we have a saying. We have a group of guys that we're all into crypto. Not that we're not into other things, but we like it and we're trying to trace and see what's going on. We always say that you invest into crypto, the money you can afford to lose.
Yeah.
We always say that. So if you can afford to lose it and you want to kind of gamble, go ahead.
Yeah,
So,
I
so it
agree
is.
with
It is
that.
a bit
It's
of a
not
gamble.
Amazon stocks.
Yeah,
That's it.
It is a bit of a gamble, particularly in this stage that we are in now. We don't know what it might evolve to, but at this stage now, as with new technology, as with the web back in the 90s. And by the way, there was a .com bubble and a .com crash. So like with these things, we have to wait and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is now the crypto bubble, but I think something good will come out of that. Like maybe from the .com bubble, we have Amazon, we have Facebook, we have PayPal, we have some companies which survived the bubble, and I think something will come out from this.
Yeah.
Like I think
I mean,
10
what
years
is-
later we will look at this and
What is highly interesting is maybe the cryptocurrencies that are like controlled by the country themselves, right? I mean, China's quite advanced there. They have like the virtual yuan already. I don't know what is the status. Maybe you know more
But
about that. But
doesn't that defeat the purpose though? Because of decentralization, which is centralized by the country. So it's kind of funny to me, right? Where, like the whole point of crypto was to be decentralized. Am I right, Sadra?
Yeah. I mean, it's all about how they're gonna end up using it, I think. And
But there might be a
I don't know what
hybrid.
China is doing with it. Yeah, you have to
That-
see it.
because
See what happens.
I want to. I don't know if you have time, Cedra, but
Yeah, another
like
3 minutes.
For example, Binance is a cryptocurrency, but also it's not decentralized. It's centralized, correct?
You mean BNB, not
Yes.
Binance as a company? Yeah.
Yeah, it's owned by the company, so it's centralized, but it's not decentralized.
Well, the coin is decentralized as a blockchain. The company is centralized. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say if something happened to the company, it's going to affect the currency.
110%.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Because it's a direct. Actually, BNB is a healthy way of it. Is a very good way because there's a company behind it. The company has established if I'm not mistaken, it's a public listed company. I have to check that out. But BNB is a direct influence. So if Binance dies, BNB dies. Look at what happened with we had the same, but it was not a company where we had that crash in 2018 with one of those coins with $2 billion, which was an investment company. Forgot the name.
Is it XRP Ripple?
No. There was 2018. We had that crash of a coin, which was a blockchain, and it crashed. And within a night, it lost about 1,000% of its value, and it was sold off, and it was gone. And right now, it's still not in the market anymore. So that happened because there was no company behind it, and some people, the people behind it said we are just cheated, and some people like hacked our system, and we have lost the coins, and and they closed the website for a day, and that's it. The moment they opened the website, boom, everyone sold, and people lost 2.1 billion valuation turned down to 140 million. It was BitConnect. I just remember the name.
Oh yeah,
Bitcoin.
BitConnect.
Yeah.
BitConnect.
That was
okay.
that was a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think in general, I'm very optimistic as well. As long as we don't we have right use cases that can facilitate our livelihood, it can help us live better, faster, and safer, we adopt it. And
I'm optimistic about blockchain. What I see is the real thing here is blockchain to me, not really crypto. Yeah,
exactly.
Like so many use cases for blockchain we're already seeing.
Yeah, I fully agree
but
with
it's
that.
kind of unhealthy seeing some people like Elon Musk come into the picture and kind of scramble everything, and it creates mistrust, reputation loss, and you're like, you don't know where you stand. And let's hope it's going to get somewhere that is going to keep people's believing in certain use cases of it.
Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people are making money with crypto right now. But just like before the .com bubble and .com crash, a lot of people were making money with the web as well. So, and like I think Humam said, if it actually does go right, what's left? The ones that actually rise up are the actual real ones. You know, like what Humam said. Now we have Amazon, we have PayPal, and all these things. So something new.
Exactly, but I give you one point. I strongly believe it would not boom like .com and it doesn't go to zero. It would not, because of its history and because of its mining and because of many reasons. It will go down, but at some point, the moment I'm telling you this, the moment BTC goes down to 20-ish, there are whales waiting to buy. And it's going to happen. So I don't think there's a death out there waiting for us unless something insane happens. It's just a matter of the up and downs and the right use cases.
Now maybe there's 10,000 cryptocurrency, correct? Or more?
Coins or tokens?
If
you're talking about coins, I don't think we have more than 100 coins in the market. I don't think we have more than 100.
But with tokens, I think it's more than 10,000.
Yeah, I personally have built 5. So yeah, I think it's more than 10,000. Absolutely it is.
Yeah,
and many coins are not released out there. They're used in the deep web. So you don't see them.
Because almost everybody there now can create a token like in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes. I have my own token.
We can create. I was just about to say we can create a Humam coin right now.
I created
startup zone coin token, and then we raise funds.
Let's do it right now. Sadra, get your laptop out. Let's do the startup.
Buy first.
Give me 5 minutes.
Buy first, then we
buy it.
We buy first, and then convince Elon Musk to accept the currency for his Tesla. Yeah.
Startup zone to the moon.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you excuse me, I would have to jump. It was a pleasure being with you all and have this discussion. I'll look forward to having more talks with you all. All right,
thank you very much for joining us.
You too. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Right. Wow. So that was Sadra. Yeah, like I last time I spoke to him, he was doing IT. He actually helped me with some tech stuff. I didn't know that he was so into crypto. And interesting conversation. Yeah.
It is a good topic.
Yeah, this topic, I think we can talk like for hours about it.
and maybe still not get to a conclusion, because it's so open.
It's almost an hour.
I think we keep the show going every week. I'm sure we will. This topic will come back sooner or later. But as you said, I mean, there's a lot of really good use cases for blockchain. I think that is like really an awesome technology that is helpful, that has a future, and I'm sure we will hear a lot about this. I'm excited to talk about this one also in the future, in the next shows.
Yeah, get blockchain focused session. Get maybe a blockchain person on and see how it goes. Yeah.
We missed some comments. I'm trying to show them now.
Doge to the moon.
Doge to the moon.
All right, so guys, I think we cannot cover all the topics. Do you want to talk about like should we talk political or religious on LinkedIn, for example? Do you think this topic, or you want to talk about something else?
Not on LinkedIn, only on Facebook, right? I told you, like, for me, my personal philosophy is I try to stay away from politics and religion because I'm a business personality. So I try to keep it very, very very neutral and professional. Yeah. So, but that's me. I mean, like what you do after I've gone is a different story. So,
I will ask you and ask Patrick, but let me set some examples in the beginning so we can like have some basis to discuss on. So like, like for example, now what's happened between Israel and Palestine, or Gaza, or what happened in Jerusalem or Al-Quds, whatever. So I noticed there's a lot of posts on that on LinkedIn. So some people put I stand with Palestine, some people put I stand with Israel, and there is so much argument and fighting among those posts. Okay, that's example number one. Example number two, I see now many businesses, for example, putting, changing their logo to LGBTQ kind of thing because they call it's the the Pride Month or something like that. So like businesses also like now involving in politics or involving, I don't know what
yeah,
to
and
call
you
it,
know
in some causes.
the Black Lives Matter, where like companies are
Black
actually
Lives Matter. Yes,
blacking
yes.
out that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there is this kind of practice by
This
individual who like say
woke
stand with
philosophy.
certain party or others, or companies coming and say, oh, okay, this is my political stand. This is where I stand on this matter. So I would like to ask you and ask Patrick, what do you think? Like, should a business do that? Should a professional do that on LinkedIn? On Facebook, to me, it's a different story. But I'm talking professionally as a business or as a professional.
Well, I mean, I can take this first because, like,
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I did say that me personally, as a personal thing, I tend to stay away from these topics. But if you because I'm a branding guy, right? So if you look at brands, like actually there have been brands that actually built their stance on a very specific political stance. Like for example, Ben and Jerry's, right? Ben and Jerry's ice cream, right? Their thing is like basically about all of this, like sort of like hippie leftist kind of blah blah blah, and like all these kind of causes and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. And then like so as a brand, I think it can be a tactic to actually take a specific stand, but what we are seeing now is a woke movement. So like with and this um it's hard to talk about this kind of stuff because like politics, like religion, you might offend some people. So but
No, you can talk about it in
yeah.
neutral way. Like, do you think it is right for a business to come up with a political statement,
No,
or as a professional, do you think
yeah.
they should post I stand with Palestine or I stand with Israel or things like that?
Like I said, I mean, as a brand, right? It can be a tactic actually because you have your
It can
audience,
be
you
a
have your
thing.
yeah. It can be a tactic to actually but as an individual, depending if you're speaking on behalf of a business, and we are actually seeing this happen now with, for example, like I think with like Amazon or some other companies that actually got in trouble with their own employees because they didn't want to stand up for LGBT rights or something like that, right? So like
Okay.
their own people called out their own companies. So now it's kind of like businesses, as like you said, being kind of like pushed towards taking a political stand, right? And like personally, on an individual level, I do not think that it is the platform, like on LinkedIn, for example, for you to actually be talking about these kind of things personally.
Okay.
Yeah. Patrick.
Patrick, what do you think?
I have to say a very similar opinion to Rahul. I mean, first of all, I really have to say also I'm a bit split, with like what really to do or how to do, or like advising companies or professions what to do. I'm a bit split. In general, me myself, Homam, I also don't talk politics or religion publicly. I'm okay to discuss like one-on-one or a small group, share opinions, ideas, and things like that. That's okay. But I mean, the point is always I'm also like for freedom of speech, right? I mean, everyone should be able to say and do whatever they want, right? And as long as it's not harmful for other people, right? And that is probably the problem here. Like, where start the harmful, right? What is harmful? Is it just a message, or is it like really if you call people to do something, right? So I try to keep this very neutral. I mean, this debate started in LinkedIn some time ago, right? When people said, "Oh, you cannot share this in LinkedIn," this is not like, you should not share jokes on LinkedIn, right? But then the guy was a comedian. He said, "Well, that is my profession, right? So if it's my profession, why can I not share it?" So similar, if you have like now a pastor or like any religious guy, right? Then he will probably share that because it's his profession, right? If you have like a soldier using LinkedIn, then probably he would share about war and this kind of thing. And if you have politicians, which we have, right? We have like a couple of presidents or prime ministers, right? Which are on LinkedIn. So what should they share? Of course, they share political stuff, right? I mean, in the end,
actually, I agree with you
professional
on
network.
this.
Everyone that has a profession should share whatever he wants to share, and I'm free to read and comment what I want. I mean, that is also a thing. Like, why do I need to comment someone's post? This doesn't belong to LinkedIn. I can just block the guy, and I will never see any posts of this guy again, right? Done. Therefore, yeah, I'm a bit split. I mean, for me, I keep it without religion, without politics. Those who want to do it, I don't care. If I don't like it, I don't want to see it, I just like
Don't
turn
read
off
it.
the notification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I did actually a poll before it, so there is
I saw that. I
790 people.
participated. Yeah, what was the result?
So the result, 79% said no, you should not share a political post or post about political issues on LinkedIn. And actually, like for me, I agree with that. Like, I'm not saying do not talk politics. You want to talk politics, and I love talking about politics, but I will talk politics
Me too.
with a group of my friends or on Facebook or on Twitter,
Yeah.
but
It
not
depends
on
on the
LinkedIn.
platform. Yeah. Depends on the platform. Right?
To me, LinkedIn is a professional platform for you as a business owner or as an entrepreneur or as a professional or as a job seeker or as a student or whatever you are. But it is a professional platform. It's not for jokes. I don't know. That's my opinion. It's not for jokes. It's not for politics. It's not for religion. Unless if that's your job, then you are professional because that's your job. But if I am an entrepreneur and I'm posting some stupid TikTok dance, to me that's unprofessional. I don't know. That could be me, but if I see somebody like this, most likely I will unfollow that person.
Yeah, and also for me personally, another thing about this topic is that personally, I don't think like I have seen so many people, having conversations about politics and religion, flame wars online, comments, flaming about all of these topics. And where does it go? I don't think it really goes anywhere to any kind of resolution. Like they're not passing a bill in Parliament. They're not bringing it to the United Nations. They're just having a little flame war with emojis and on the comment box. So where does it actually go? What is the productive result from it? So
and I don't know. At this age, I reached to a conclusion. It's very difficult to change some people's opinion. Especially if it's matter of belief. Like if somebody is a Muslim or if somebody is a Jew or if somebody is a Christian, to change his belief, it is even if whatever evidence you bring him, or he's not going to change because it's matter of belief. It's not matter of usually scientific or reasoning or logic. He believes, let's say,
it's not
Palestinians are right, then he will believe that. He won't change his mind. He will believe Israel is right. No matter you show them how they're bombing people, they're not going to change their beliefs. It's just waste of time.
Yeah, because also this topic also has two sides, right? And really, me personally, I like to understand both sides. So and if you really take the time to understand both sides, right, and try to think of yourself as this side, try to think of yourself on this side, right? Then you start to not want to get into these kind of arguments anymore, because you are able to see from both sides, and you see that it's kind of a little bit of a futile argument, to be having, so let God decide, right? Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is there anything you want to add, Patrick?
No, I mean, this one we can also discuss for hours, right? I mean, I found the statement you made before very interesting also, when you said like, okay, in Facebook you can post whatever you want, right? But then I was like, what? In especially in Malaysia, I was surprised. Also, many people are using Facebook for their business, right? Or their business network, right? Then I mean, in the end, I keep it, for me, the same social media, like everywhere, the same rules, right? Yeah, don't hurt people. I think you can share your opinion. That's not wrong. It's every platform is good to discuss and have a debate. So I don't make a big difference in these terms, but I have it similar. But I have to agree with you. I have it similar, Homam. I consider Facebook more as a private social network, LinkedIn more as a professional one, where I want to connect with other professionals, and that's how I have it. But it does not necessarily need to be like that. I mean, Facebook can also be used for companies, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, on this topic, actually, we are living at a time where you can see massive things being done by people on social media. For example, with the GameStop thing, bunch of Redditors, right? And then also with the recent, I don't want to be mentioning the words, but the one that Homam was talking about just now, that conflict, right? So like because of that conflict, like, it was actually Malaysians that the Koyak, Koyak, right? I don't know if you heard about that, but it actually became like the number one trending hashtag on Twitter, I think. It became very, very big until that it was even discussed in their parliament in that country. So yeah, so what we are seeing now is that regular people actually coming together and building this critical mass to effect change on the political level. It is actually possible, actually. Like, I mean, I did say that the
It is
conversation,
very powerful.
yeah, the conversations can get futile and stuff, but like what we saw with the Arab Spring as well, with a bunch of Twitter users, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, social media is changing the game, and actually and so sort of like a ripple effect can cause very, very big things to happen. But on an individual level, I think these conversations can become pretty futile. Yeah, but on a macro level, actually, we have seen that they can actually make very big impact.
Actually, social media is very powerful when it comes to like crowd, how to say it, not crowdsource, crowd, like you want to like
Build a movement,
get the crowd, build a crowd of movement exactly behind you. It's very powerful, but it's also sometimes like dividing people. It is like polarizing, because it's like an echo chamber. You will hear only the people who share the same
Yes.
ideas,
That's
same
why I
opinion,
said,
and the people getting more what the word, more extreme on both sides, like on the left or on the right, or
correct.
with this group or with that group.
And that's why, like I was mentioning, I like to try to put myself in this side, try to put myself in that side, and see from both sides. And like what my brother actually does, and I think this might be a good exercise for all of the people watching. Go and follow the other side. Like right now, let's say, for example, if you are, let's say, a Joe Biden supporter, okay, so you follow all try and follow a few pages from the other side, right? So your feed doesn't become an echo chamber, right? And you start to see both sides, right?
That's actually critical thinking, and that's what I think in most of our countries, like whether I'm from Syria or Malaysia here, but I don't know about Switzerland. Maybe you guys are a bit better. There's not much critical thinking teach in school. Like everything, you should follow what you read. The teacher is right. Everything in the book, you should take it for where there's no questioning, there's no debate, there's no let me put myself in that person's shoes.
Yes, correct. And I think this can lead to a lot of empathy. And better and better empathy when people start to comment and start to post. We can't tell them don't post, don't comment, but we can start to build up the type of mentality that comes up with nice posts, or like proper posts, or posts that with some logic to them, and not just flame wars and religious sentiments and religious wars online and stuff like that, right? So like you said, critical thinking, it's I think it's time for an elevation of the mindset. And if we have that, imagine with the critical mass that can be built with social media and stuff like that, huge movements, right? What can be achieved from that?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and with this example, you see already how thin this line is, right? Between what is professional, what is political, because even this one, we can easily turn it into a political discussion, right? You're telling like, oh, in your countries, the critical thinking is not taught, right, in school, right? Then my next question would obviously be like something wrong with the school systems, right? And we're right into the political discussion, right? So it's a very thin line, and that's maybe also I want to mention when you asked the first question, hormones, like should we discuss political things? I mean, you have other things that impacts politics and business obviously is very related, right? Everywhere you do like cross-border trade, right? You have like free trade agreements, right? And so it is like if countries discuss and debate and negotiate a free trade agreement, then should you be involved as a business in the discussion in this? I think absolutely yes, because you have a direct interest, like if this is working, right? Or you have an interest that it is not working. And therefore, I mean, that would answer the question, should you be politically involved when you're in a company? The answer to this probably depends. I mean, depends really on what is the topic, right?
Also because companies are not political entities. They are they're just not. I mean, they have a different objective, you see, and that's what we've have seen in the past, like with the the banana republics and stuff like when companies get involved in policy making, and their objectives are different. Their objectives are making money. Their objectives are getting access to resources. Their objectives are different. So
well, there is an argument for that now this new generation, the millennials or the Gen Z, they care. Like they want, for example, a company which is environment friendly. They want a company which is provide equal opportunity. They want a company which like support feminism. Like so, mostly it's like left wing agenda. But anyway, not to go to politics. So now businesses, they think, okay, to take advantage and get those customers, we have to be political. So we have to support Black Lives Matter, or we have to support LGBTQ, or we have to change our logo and do this kind of thing. So even I think sometimes they're not really sincere about that. It's like a marketing stunt.
Because in a world with so much choice, right, and so many brands to choose from, right, people want to connect with those that they feel support the same causes as them, and so it becomes a branding thing, like you said. It's actually a marketing thing, right? Maybe the company, the people at the top, they don't really care about these causes, right? But because their audience or their the market, the customers, right, actually care about these issues, so they try to bring it in line. And this goes back to what I said before, that a brand taking a political stance actually can be a tactic, right?
But also it has to be done very carefully, and because it can backfire.
Yeah,
can.
So and I mean, we are like you said. I mean, we are living in a different time now with the social enterprises, and So like this new kind of sort of take on businesses. And if you look back at, let's say, for example, I think it was Rockefeller, during Rockefeller's time, where and the worker revolts, right? And I think this was before unionization and stuff like that. And he actually apparently put down the worker revolts with actually military force and stuff like that. There was no equality and what diverse worker. No, it's just like, you do what I say or I put you down, right? It was a different way of doing business. You see, now it's all woke and stuff like that. It's different. So it's a different environment.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm thinking to end up with something light, like less
Yeah, it's been pretty heavy, man.
accountable.
Like,
So
yeah.
I saw this on LinkedIn, so I thought maybe it's cool. So
I also
I
do my
want to
own
share
music.
it. So this
Got
is
a
a
sweet
video
spot
for
for a couple of
Tom Cruise.
artists, and people are surprised that
Is this a deep fake?
I'm a big Dave Matthews guy.
Yeah, it's a deep fake.
Sings like an angel. You got your ball, you got your chain, right tight to me, tight, tightly, yet again. Ooh.
So what do you think?
What do I think about the song? What do I think about Tom Cruise? Or what do I think about deep fakes?
Everything.
I like the song. I got no comment about Tom Cruise, but generally, I think I like him. And
Okay.
uh,
Do you
about
find it believable? Do you find will you mistaken it for a real?
no, I mean
Tom Cruise?
like before you even wrote the word deep fake down there, I already asked you, is it a deep
You
fake?
catch it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
caught it. Yeah, like now it's interesting because I don't know about other people, but my eyes, I think, have become quite able to tell, and it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
How about you, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, first thing I came in my mind, we missed Top Gun 2 in the cinemas. that comes to my mind first when I see Tom Cruise. Obviously, I'm that old. I grew up with Top Gun 1 or the Top Gun
Yeah.
movie, right? Which was an awesome movie. But then, yeah, it's impressive. I mean, okay, let's say like this: if you know it, okay, you can see. If you don't know, okay, you're wondering like, is it real? What's something wrong with it, right? So you question it, but I'm impressed how good it is already. I mean, we're so used now with fake pictures, right? Which we have for years already, right? Like the pictures are faked, and you really have to wonder if it's the real person or if it's a real image even.
Photoshop.
But like for videos, it is obviously far more difficult to fake it, but it's impressive, and I think already now very soon there will be videos out there we cannot distinguish anymore from real ones. So an opportunity, also a scary thing, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, we live in an era where such big shifts are happening. Like with deepfake technology, like okay, if you just look at acting, the field of acting, it's already been impacted because of the pandemic, right? And now, if you could actually take Tom Cruise's face and put it onto like, do you actually have to hire Tom Cruise, right? So you see, like, so that the field of entertainment, that's one. Another one is public opinion. Like if you think about it before, like let's say before the printing press, if countries wanted to go to war, if kings wanted to go to war, they just went to war and stuff. And then after that, up until like Vietnam, right, they had to the Vietnam War, they had to actually get like public opinion. From then on, it was like you have two parts. You have the PR part, and then you have the actual work that governments do. But what if you could actually have a video of Barack Obama making a speech, but it's not actually him, like how the influence on public opinion, right? It's on another level now. Like
I'm thinking of something like this. Imagine in the future, Tom Cruise will say, "Okay, you can have me acting in your movie, or you can have a license to use me as a deep fake, and I will be acting in your movie, but in virtually. Not he's not going to act anything. It just he gave his permission to use his name.
That's a very, very good point.
And he can get paid and do 20 or 100 movie a year.
Yeah, and actually, like what we've been seeing, and because we were talking about crypto and blockchain, and the NFT thing, right, where art on the blockchain, right? So like what you talked about, like actors licensing out their own IP, as in themselves as an IP, as a piece of intellectual property, right, carried on the blockchain, right? Like an NFT, you can buy the rights, right, or a license, or something like that, or you can buy him, maybe Tom Cruise, so he sells you a part of him, or something like that. So like you said, that's one way it could go. Yeah.
I think okay, maybe you have to distinguish two things here also. I mean, the CGI parts, right? I think this one, or like let's say movies that were created when the actor already passed away, for example, right? Some of
Yeah,
this
yeah, that's a good
existed,
idea.
or I think like even I think the one of the Terminators, they had to put in Arnold Schwarzenegger, computer animated, because he was still the government and he was not allowed to make movies, right? Other examples, I think, of actors that just passed away before the movie was finished and they just finalized it. I think the most recent one, or one to keep in mind, was Philip
I
Seymour
think
Hoffman in
yeah.
Hunger Games, something like that. So this
I
is
think
one
in
thing,
Fast and
right?
Furious also something like
Yeah,
that happened.
correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Fast and Furious is another one. But this one here is a different one. That's what the distinction I wanted to make, right? It's like, how easy is it, like, to now just take a face, or like another movie, and put it on top of it? Like, how easy can, like, users like you and me do this now,
Mm.
right? I mean, in movies, like, with a lot of work and a lot of artists, it was possible already years ago also, but now it seems like everyone can just do it. So I can probably just like a movie, and beside me is Tom Cruise or whatever is my favorite actor or actress together, right? And it looks really real. So it becomes like a end user thing, right?
I think that's what's dangerous about deepfake, because, like, with CGI, there is nothing new here, except it's now very easy, very accessible to the average person to be able to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and different people with different intentions, bad or
Yeah,
good intentions. So,
like, just
yeah,
think what will happen to the fake news.
yeah, and what
How?
what what we've seen now, yeah, in the era of fake news, and so many different things with the arsenal of deep fakes, and I don't know where I think we're in for a huge ride.
Yeah,
Any on the other side, I mean, okay, as I said, that's the scary things, but any use case that come in your mind, Homam or Raul, that you see, like, you can do something good with that kind of deep fakes?
Well, I mean, recently there was the thing about like taking like a relative who has passed away and taking their picture or video and making them, like they're alive for a while, or they also have like bottling the smell of your deceased loved one, and stuff. So deep fake might be able to come into that. I see. That's one. To yeah, help people in that way, to help them cope. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
well, I think
Uh,
the case you mentioned, that if, let's say, an actor pass away, or somebody, so if you need to reconstruct a certain image or certain speech of somebody who couldn't make it, whether they die or whether they're not available, that can be a good case. But I have a feeling it
but
might be used
overall, I
for
think
different
the
reasons.
overall use of deepfake is not good. Overall.
Like, I think this is going to change the legal system. Like, maybe now taking a video of person saying something is not going to be as strong evidence
Yeah, you got to
as
have.
maybe it used to
Yeah,
be.
and maybe that's how blockchain can actually, like, okay, the president said this, is that real or is that deep fake? Go and check the blockchain, check this record, check that record. Okay, it's real. you know
Correct.
so maybe for verification, you got to verify everything, right? In a world where anything could be fake, right? You got to
and
verify
and
everything.
that's, it go back to the critical thinking, doing your own research, doing due diligence about
Yeah,
everything you hear. You have to,
Yeah.
I think, in my mind, quit assume everything is told to you is wrong, everything
yeah.
told to you is fake news, and start proving is it correct or it's really fake news.
And
That's
that's
the
maybe,
only way to find the truth.
yeah, that's maybe something that they might have to make part of teaching kids in school, like just like English or science or maths, teach them critical thinking skills, right? To be able, because they're going to be growing up in a world where what they see could be fake, what they hear could be fake. they could be living in an echo chamber of, just receiving one point of view, right? So this might be a very important skill for the future. Yeah.
There should be something like there's 10 wrong things in this book. You need to figure it out. We placed 10 wrong information.
or you go to a class and they just teach you wrong stuff. Everything that they teach you is wrong. Or it's like 50% wrong, 50% right. And then the exam is like what was wrong, what was right, right? You sit through a whole year of the class, right? And 50% was correct and 50% was wrong. The exam is, what was right, what was right. So and you like live in this, kids might grow up with like, oh my God, what's real, what's not, doubting themselves all the time. taking pills, taking medication, am I real? Am I a real human being?
Interesting. Yeah. In coming back to deepfakes, I read when I prepared for this session, show me that Roman. I found a sample in medicine, the healthcare industry, basically, where deepfake might be an interesting use case, especially to like protect the privacy, right? The data privacy of maybe patients. So you basically can deepfake a patient's identity, right? If you want to share data about these patients, especially now, it can become interesting if you share data globally and you need to have like remote medicine, right? Or a remote surgery or anything like that. In the end, you can still protect, as I said, the data privacy of a patient. That might be one of the use cases, which is, of course, interesting also. But yeah, I mean, compared to what bad you can do with it, this is still bigger topic.
Like Elon Musk said, I think it was Elon Musk that said that AI is like it could be the end of humanity. Something like it could destroy humanity. Right? So like I think in his point of view that AI actually overall is a negative thing, even though some positive things might be there. So this deepfake sounds.
Was that the chat Elon Musk had with Jack Ma? Was it from that interview? Did you see that?
I can't remember.
But I don't know if it's from that, but I saw it.
Yeah, it's highly recommended. I mean that talk was just like awesome. I think half an hour, 40 minutes. Two awesome people, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, like you see this topic, I love this topic. Like if you want, we can make another session full. We talk fully about this, like the effect of AI on humanity. Like, is it going to be good, bad?
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, we human beings were like bound in space and time, right? And like if something happens in, let's say, in Homam's in a country in Syria, right? The only way that I can really get to know about it is maybe through the news or through watching footage, right? Yeah. But if all of it is fake, right? Then my response, maybe I have an emotional response, right? And maybe I tell my government, okay, go to war, right? But it's based on fake. Everything that I was told was fake. So
that's the importance of the critical thinking. Like that's the importance of doing due diligence, of checking multiple sources, of not just listening to one opinion or to one voice or to one view of point. Like if you do your own research, I'm sure you're going to reach the truth, or you will get very close to the truth. But if you just depend on one source of news that it could be fake news, then of course you will be victim to that. And I think actually, you can only blame yourself.
Yeah, actually, apparently we saw this during one of the sieges in Syria. Like there was a town I can't remember the name of the town, but there was a place being sieged, right? Apparently, and people were showing like handphone footage, like, oh, I'm in my house, and the house is being bombed and whatnot. It was all apparently fake. It was being created like in a green screen kind of place. I don't know why some people did that. Apparently,
well, I don't think that's true, because anyway, I could be biased. I'm like.
Let me try and find out about it.
I think my camera battery is turned off. But you can hear me?
Aleppo. Yeah, I can hear you. Aleppo.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Well, you don't need the news for that. You can go by yourself till today to Syria, and you will see how there's
no.
millions of houses bomb.
Yeah.
In reality, you don't need
Yeah.
fake news or green
I'm not
screen for
I'm
that.
not saying that the bombing was fake, bro. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that some people were doing some things
Okay.
that they were saying were real, but actually was fake. The siege, maybe it was actually really happening, but some people were saying like, like this, but actually it wasn't like that. Something like that. I don't know why they were doing that. Also.
Well, there
Yeah.
is sometimes the cases where for certain party to prove that certain party is wrong, they will recreate a
Yeah.
scene
Yeah.
and in a
Yeah.
fake way and leak it. Actually, this happened a few times and leak it as it is coming from that source.
Yeah.
Okay, I give you an example. So let's say I could be biased, as I said, but let's say I'm just going to try to be neutral. If I am from this kind of government supporting the government against the rebels, so I can create a scene where I show a green
Yep.
screen and people like showing like their house destroyed, and
Yep.
then I
Yep.
will say, look, this is what the rebels doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like deception is a major part of pushing public opinion towards supporting a war. For example, apparently the World War II Japan, the bombing of the bridge in Manchuria, I think, right, was actually apparently done by Japan, by their like generals or something to push the emperor to actually get into the war and stuff like that. Like these things have been known to happen. It's just to create just to push public opinion to support something, right? Using deception. So there's another level now with the deep fakes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is nothing new. Like, you know, that many people said like the Americans in Vietnam used to they kidnap like some anti-communist people and kill them in a horrible way and through like their body part and say the communists done that, but actually it's the American who done that just to make the public opinion against the communists. So this
That's what I'm
kind of
saying.
tactics, yeah, exactly. But now it's used in fake news. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not to say that they're wrong because maybe to them, what they're doing is right. You know, the ends justify the means, right? Like, I'm telling a lie now, but it's leading to something that can save a lot of people's lives, right? So this is the moral gray area, you know, like see, it's for these kinds of justifications. Homam, are you okay? Your camera.
Yeah, what happened to your camera?
My camera, because I'm using a DSLR and I think the battery
Okay.
is gone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we've covered all of the topics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered all that. I think we can wrap it up. Yeah. It's already been almost 2 hours. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
it's been a really enlightening conversation with you. So is this like the first? Do I have the honor of being on the first episode, or is this like?
Yeah, you are
The
on the
first
first episode. You and
All
Patrick.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Also,
Patrick,
Patrick
Someone has to
invited
be
me.
the first, you know.
Yeah.
virtual
We
high
have to-
five.
Sorry, guys, I can't do it with you.
It's okay. You are with us in the virtual high five.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of deep
All right.
fake. You just like pretend
Yeah, it's like
your
a deep-
camera is off, something like that.
I'm kind of doubting that he was actually really there at all.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just you and me, you know, Patrick.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Can be. That was the evidence basically for
Yeah,
1
that's it.
hour, 40 minutes. He just fooled us. Oh,
Oh,
no,
okay,
I'm
it's
using
already there. Yeah,
the-
that's the real
this
home.
is-
See,
Oh no, you look
you
different
look
now.
differently
bro.
before.
You look different.
Well, this is because it's a low resolution. The laptop camera is
Yes,
very.
No,
it sucks.
no. You were a deep fake. I don't trust you anymore. Bye.
Low cam, you know. Yeah.
Low resolution.
Yeah, I also want to say hello and thank you to Diego. He watched, I think, the whole episode. He was with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
He's
no,
very
Diego,
loyal.
Diego,
Very
I hope,
loyal viewer.
hope you're doing fine and you didn't fall asleep.
And you're not a deep fake too.
Nice. And
Okay,
we
guys.
have on LinkedIn, we have also a guy, Gopal Rams. I would also like to thank him. He was active in commenting. Thanks a lot for following it. I hope you
Thanks,
enjoy that
Gopal.
if you're still there.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm really glad we done this. I know the views may be very low, but I'm not doing it for the views. I think by the time we can build the audience.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like, actually, I think you're doing pretty good for a first episode. Seriously, I don't think my first episode had this many views. So,
All right, so
yes,
I'm planning next week, same time. If you guys, Patrick or Ralph, will want to join me, you are very welcome to do so.
yeah. Let me
Or
try and
if you want to
recommend
invite
some
somebody
guests. Yeah.
else, I would be glad also to have
Yeah,
you.
also because the space in StreamYard is quite limited, I think. So it's not like a Zoom call, with like 300
I think
people. Or,
we can do up to 10 like this format. But
okay,
I
yeah,
don't know.
but
I like
yeah,
this format.
yeah. I mean, with too many people, it might lose the focus, So
Exactly.
maybe not too many people. I recommend that maybe next week you don't take me on. You to get somebody else, and it's you, Patrick, and somebody else. And you should keep the format like that. I think. Yeah, just three
Okay,
people,
cool.
4 people maximum at a time. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So thank you everyone to watch
yeah,
us.
thanks Rahul for joining
Thank
us.
you.
That was
Thank you,
really
Patrick.
cool talking
Thank you,
with
Ram.
you.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
hope to see you really very soon, like face to face.
All right, man.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Take care. I'm going to end the
Okay.
session. All right.
Sure.
Have a
Bye.
nice night. Good night.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.